Fat W! Fat fucking W! Holy W!
This hurts so much, guys. I don't know if it might be too high.
Shonen time has come. Now it's time for the fucking hot takes, guys.
So, guys, I recently did a stream where I went through IGN's top 20 anime of all time. And I always find it interesting when a gaming journalist company tries to approach anime. Because, you know, as someone who's been an anime fan for a long time and someone who's just been a tangential gaming fan, it's always interesting to see mainstream outlets try to tackle anime. Sometimes they do it right. A lot of the times they do it wrong. If there is another gaming outlet I feel like has a name brand that's also pretty strong, it is Kotaku. So, Kotaku have done a list of the best 30, not 20, 30 anime of the decade. Now, I don't know why they chose a decade. I don't know if they did it in the 2010s or if it's just the previous 10 years, but we're gonna have a look. I'm sure we're gonna figure it out anyway. One thing I will say, making bets. Where's Demon Slayer gonna be, guys? Demon Slayer has haunted me for long enough that it's gonna be here somewhere. The real question is, where is it gonna be? It's gonna be top 10. Definitely top 10. Starting in at number 30, we have Kakegurui? Really? Some of the best anime of the decade? Yo, we voting with our dicks again, man? What's going on? Kakegurui was good. I don't think it was that good. Jesus, not anime of the decade contender. Kakegurui was a series that I think really blew up. Not even on YouTube or anything like that. I think it just really blew up on TikTok. And I have to ask, I think more people recognize Kakegurui from TikTok and cosplays than they do from actually watching the show itself. I don't know how many people actually watched Kakegurui, but I know a lot of people recognize Kakegurui, man. There are a lot of people who are horny. Weird start. I didn't think Kakegurui was gonna be on this. Moving on next. Yuri on Ice. Okay. You know what? I'll allow it. Why not? Why not? Remember the first Crunchyroll Anime Awards, anyone? Anyone? Anime of the Year? Best Animation? Best Couple? This was the OG Demon Slayer, man. Before it was the Demon Slayer Awards, it was the Yuri on Ice Awards. Anyone remember that? I mean, I think Yuri on Ice, it is a good show. 29, that's not a bad shout for it. I think one thing that brings it down is that it had really good animation at points. But I think at that time, because Mappa tried to do so many ice skating scenes, the animation quality really dipped midway through the series. But overall, it was a good show. I think it would really have benefited from a second season. I will allow it at 29. Moving on, Re:Zero, 28. Ooh, okay, well, at least they recognize Isekai? I think that's a little low, actually. Maybe if it was just season 1, but season 1 and season 2, I think it deserves to be a little higher. I think it deserves like top 20 at least. 28. That is very low. I know I'm the Isekai guy. Re:Zero is one of the few W's that we have. The other is Mushoku Tensei. As an Isekai fan, we have 2 W's. That's it, okay? Give it top 20 at least, man. Come on. All right, number 27. My Hero Academia. Yo, okay. You know what? Chat. W. 27. That's a W. Fair. Surprising. Actually surprising that they put My Hero Academia this low. If you haven't seen the IGN list, half of the shows were shonen and half of them were in the top 10. I think My Hero Academia definitely deserves to be on the top 30 list of the last decade. I think you'd have to be a pretty salty fan to not put My Hero Academia on the top 30. And I think 27, fair rating. Season 1, still good. Season 2, still good. Season 3, still good. 4, 5, and 6, a little bit mixed, but it definitely deserves to be on there. I'm surprised. That was genuinely surprised. I thought My Hero Academia was going to be top 15. At number 26, we have Violet Evergarden at 26? 26? Yo, that's a little bit low, isn't it? Who in chat said it's too high? Someone in chat said it's too high. Violet Evergarden, I think, deserves to be top 20 at least. It's not my favorite anime of the decade, but it's still up there as one of the ones I've enjoyed immensely. I'm glad that so far, I don't know if I'm jinxing it, guys. I don't know if I'm jinxing it. So far, Kotaku has done a lot better job at giving other genres representation other than shonen. Violet Evergarden definitely deserves to be on this list. I think a decade is a long time, but in terms of the shows that stand out to me, Violet Evergarden is definitely up there. I'd probably put it at around 19. I think 26 is a little bit low. The new ranking system is capital L, small L, nothing, lower caps W, capital W. That's how we're rating it for me. Wait, what letter should we put for something that is entirely just in the middle? M? Okay. M. I'll allow it. M. At Number 25. Kill la Kill at 25. This should be high. I think this should be way higher than 25. In terms of just what Kill la Kill did for the anime community, this was like Kill la Kill came out at a time when anime was nowhere near as popular as it is now. Kill la Kill was the show that put Trigger on the map. When people think about Trigger, they still think about Kill la Kill. We had the team that came from Gainax, did Gurren Lagann, and this was their first massive hit anime, and Kill la Kill had such a big influence on the anime community for its time. I think it would have a less of an impact as it is now, because the anime community right now is so much bigger. For its time in 2013, I believe, it had such a massive impact because everyone watched Kill la Kill if you're in the anime community. Everyone had an opinion about Kill la Kill, and I still think it's some of Trigger's best work. 25, it's way too low. I would put it top 15 at least. So this is going to be an M for me. It's way too low, but at least it's on the list. At least it's on the list. Next on, we have number 24, which is dun dun dun. Wow. Wow. Kotaku Watch Anime. Oh my god, they put Space Dandy on here. That was an unexpected W. Oh shit. What's going on at Kotaku? Yo, chill. I think Space Dandy is one of the most underappreciated animes of the 2010s. I think a lot of people did not end up watching this fully, and I didn't for the longest time, and then I've like gone back to rewatch it, and I think it's a show that has aged wonderfully. Even I didn't fully appreciate it when it first came out because everyone was expecting it to be something like Samurai Champloo or Cowboy Bebop, and I think everyone was just like, oh, this is pretty weird compared to Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. Why is it so weird? Now that more time has gone on, it's definitely one of the most unique animes that aired out in the 2010s. It was one of the most experimental anime, and Space Dandy, if you're wondering why One Punch Man Season 1 was as good as it is, you can actually thank Space Dandy for it. I'm gonna give him a capital W for this. This was surprising that they even put Space Dandy on this. I don't know if it should be higher, but you know what, Kotaku, just for putting Space Dandy on this, you deserve a capital W. Well done, Kotaku. Moving on to number 23, which is, ooh, what is it gonna be? What is it gonna be? It is, no, Erased. I don't even think it should be on this list. There's so many W's in chat. What's going on? Did people actually enjoy Erased? Did people actually think that the ending was good? With how many W's there are in chat right now, I'm gonna throw in the hot take. The ending doesn't always matter. Sometimes it's about the journey. And I've had anime with bad endings before that, you know, I've appreciated the journey. I've appreciated the content that we've gotten before that. Erased, I thought, was an awful ending, but I think the biggest thing that brings this down to me is the fact that it is a mystery. In the type of genre, especially when it's a murder mystery, I would say the ending is paramount because it doesn't matter how good it is previously. The whole point of a mystery is that it delivers with the mystery aspect. And you can build up this mystery all you want, but if you fail to deliver, if you actually just completely drop the ball, I kind of feel like I just wasted my time watching everything beforehand. So that doesn't make me appreciate the earlier episodes leading up to the mystery. I enjoyed Erased up to episode 9. I think episode 9, and then I just didn't like the review at all, and I thought the ending was, I have a lot of issues with the ending. OP's good though. Basically a Naruto opening, but the OP's good. Erase had me massively disappointed, and I would not put it in the top 30. I'll say it's a small L for me. It's a small L. Moving on to number 22, which is Haikyuu. That's a bit low. I think Haikyuu top 15. I think Haikyuu is for the traditional modern sports anime. I think Haikyuu is the best modern traditional sports anime. Discounting things like Ping Pong, which I feel is more of a life anime than anything like that. I can't think of anything that can really compete with Haikyuu. Before Haikyuu season 3, I probably would have put Kuroko and Haikyuu about on the same like level, but holy shit, Haikyuu season 3 was so fucking good. The Haikyuu character writing is really fucking good. It's one of Production IG's best sports anime they've ever done. The animation, when it needs to hit, absolutely hits. I think Haikyuu is just the more complete package. If I were to recommend, blind recommendation, someone's never seen a sports anime, I'd probably recommend Haikyuu in terms of trying to sell them on how good sports anime could be. The only other anime I think that is really better than Haikyuu in like traditional sports anime is Hajime no Ippo. Hajime no Ippo is the GOAT, but Haikyuu is still absolutely amazing. Moving on to number 2021. Number 21. I'm gonna guess either they didn't watch season 2 or they just pretended that it doesn't exist, because ain't no way season 2 deserves to be anywhere near this fucking list. Promised Neverland, I only see season 1. What's a season 2? If season 1 was not a self-contained arc, I would probably be more harsher on Promised Neverland and give it the erased treatment, but season 1 was a hell of a lot of fun. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I think 21 is a fair rating for it. I actually think I would put it in about the same place. The thing about Promised Neverland is that it pushes my suspension of disbelief to its absolute limit. I know that these kids are meant to be geniuses. They're super smart kids, and there are kids that are literally galaxy brain playing 5D chess, thinking 500 moves ahead, and every kid is that smart. I'm like, there's a lot of things where, you know, I can believe there are smart kids, and then every kid here is literally just fucking mega mind. I think the part that pushed my suspension of disbelief the most, the kid that could remember everything from fucking birth. He literally remembers shit from the womb, man. From the fucking womb. I'm like, okay, hold on a second there. I can believe there are smart kids, okay? I can believe that. But fucking womb? Motherfucker's having object permanence at conception, man. He's like 2 cells and he's like, I remember everything. Top 20. We're in our top 20 right now. At number 20. We have Assassination Classroom. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, guys. This is one of the few shows that I haven't actually been able to watch yet. So I can't actually comment on this one. I think I missed out on the hype when it was airing. And by the time I wanted to watch it, it was like 50 episodes long or something. This one's an M for me. I have no opinion on this one. All right, moving on. To number 19, Konosuba? Better than ReZero? Yo, you know what? That's a W for Isekai fans, man. Kotaku watches Isekai confirmed? What? We allow this. Actually, I think this might be just about right for where Konosuba deserves to be. Kotaku with more W's than L's right now. What's going on? The only thing I disagree with is I think ReZero deserves to be higher than Konosuba, but we already talked about that. In terms of actual placing for Konosuba, yes, I do think Konosuba deserves to be on this list. I think it's a great sitcom that is set in an isekai world. Do think it's a genuinely funny show. I do think the earlier seasons are a bit stronger than some of the later seasons, because one thing that worries me is that some of the jokes may get a bit repetitive and it felt fresher in season 1, but I still think it's very good. And 19's about right. That's a massive W. You got the right placing, you got isekai, and you got Konosuba. What more can you ask for? That's a fucking W for me, dog. Moving on to number 18, we have... No fucking what? What the fuck? No fucking way did they put summertime render on here. How is it that Kotaku remembered summertime rendering and every judge in the anime awards didn't? What the hell? You know what? I don't care. This is a massive W. This is the representation that summertime render did not get at the anime awards, man. I'm giving this one a massive W just for that. I do think it's a little bit high. I think recency bias might be playing into it. I don't think it's in the top 20 of the last decade. At this point, I don't even care. I'm just so happy that it's on there. If I were to put this on there, it would be like near the bottom. It would be like 29 or something. It was good. It was very, very good. This is what I wanted Erased to be. This actually built up its story, built up its mystery, and I think for the most part it delivered. It wasn't like mind-blowing or anything like that, but at least it fucking delivered. This should be where Erased was. All right, moving on to number 17. Golden Kamuy? What? Yo, okay. Remember like 3 places ago when I was talking about anime that had been on my to-watch list forever? I was trying to think of the other show aside from Assassination Classroom that I really, really genuinely want to watch and catch up with, and I've forgotten the name. It was Golden Kamuy, because I really, really want to watch this because it looks insane and it looks like the type of show that I would love. I was probably not going to watch the anime. I was probably going to read the manga. The fact that it's on this list is impressive. I've only seen clips of Golden Kamuy and I've only seen out of context things of Golden Kamuy. It's one of those shows that I already know I'm gonna love. I already know I'm gonna vibe with it. It's more of just fucking getting the time to get out and read it. Kotaku watches more anime than Gigak? Yo, what's up with that? How am I losing to Kotaku right now, man? I'll give that one a W. Moving on to number 16. Chainsaw Man at number 16. Okay. Too low? Too low? Nah. This is a W, man. This is a big dub. This is placed round about right. It might even be too high. And this is based purely just on season 1. Season 1 fucking slapped. I love season 1. Considering its popularity and considering its Kotaku, when I first came into this list, I was like, okay, top 10 all shonen jump shows. It would probably be way higher if we had season 2, season 3. That's a W from me. Recency bias aside, I do think Chainsaw Man deserves to be on this list. Moving on to number 15. Getting in the top 15 now. Way they put Odd Taxi on here. Ain't no way. How is Kotaku this based? They watch Odd Taxi as well? This is an insane W. Insane W. I don't think it's too low. I think it might be just a tad bit higher. I think Odd Taxi is just outside of top 10 material, but it's still up there. Personally, I would put it at like maybe a number 10 actually. Maybe a number 10. I'm just happy that Kotaku actually watched Odd Taxi and put it up there. I still don't think enough people watched Odd Taxi. It's still one of the most compellingly written shows of the last decade. Not many people watch it because it was an anime original and the art style's weird and it's got animals in it. I'm so happy that Kotaku put this on this list. This is a fat W for me. Moving on to number 14, we have, holy God. Oh my God. Ranking of Kings? Yo, King. Pop off, King. Keep popping off, man. Keep popping off. Yeah, I think Ranking of Kings deserves to be up here. I think I didn't like the ending of Ranking of Kings. Personally, I think the second half was not as strong as the first half, but it's still a really damn good show. Like I said before, it's not all about the destination. Sometimes it's about the journey. And I really, really enjoyed the journey to Ranking of Kings. I think it might be a little bit too high. I personally put it at about number 20. I will give this a small W. I personally think it should be a little bit lower, and I think recency bias is playing a little bit of a factor, but I definitely feel like it should be up there. Moving on to number 13, which is Spy Family. Too high. It's good. It deserves to be on this list. Way too high. Way too high. I don't know if I would put it at top 20 right now of the best anime of the previous decades. It's enjoyable. It's top 25. How much do you guys enjoy Spy X Family? I'm always curious how much people have a personal attachment to Spy X Family, because to me, I watch Spy Family. It's consistently good and it's consistently a feel-good show that will always deliver in its feel-goodness, but it's never like, yo, this episode was a banger right there. It was consistently just a good show for me. I'll give this an M. I'll give this an M. Spy X Family deserves to be here. It's just way too hard. Moving on to number 12, we have... No, they didn't. They did not put Bocce on here. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Kotaku's actually pretty base. What can I say? Actually pretty base. This is a fat W. This is a fucking fat ass W. I think it's about right. I think 12 is about right, just because I think this is the first slice of life I've seen on here. People are like, oh, this is way too high for the anime of the decade. And personally, I think Bocce the Rock was my favorite slice of life of the previous decade. I can't think of another slice of life that I enjoyed more than Bocce the Rock. And I don't like slice of life. I would put Bocce, I'll give this a small W. I'll give this a small W because of recency bias. Moving on to number 11, we have One Punch Man. You know what? I think it should be higher. One Punch Man season 1 is top 10, right? It should be top 10, right? In terms of season 1, for a lot of people, One Punch Man put anime onto the map. It was the only real anime that could compete with Attack on Titan in terms of popularity. And I think it's one of the best showcases of just Sakuga and animation to come out of the anime industry. It is an absolute treat for the eyes, and you might not like the story that much, but in terms of what season 1 did, how much of an achievement it was for animation, I think I might just put it at number 10. I guess 11's about right. I'll give this one a small W. We are getting into the big boy numbers now. The kitty gloves are off, all right? This is the top 10. Every place matters. This is the top 10 anime of the last decade. In that top 10, we have... Of course it would be. Oh my God. Well, the number 10th best anime of the year is Demon Slayer. I was pretty close, actually. I was pretty close. The fact that I predicted before that Demon Slayer was going to be number 7, at least I got like top 10 right. Demon Slayer, I would personally not put in my top 10 anime of the year. Not even of the decade. Put Demon Slayer at number 9 in my best of anime in 2022 of the decade. It definitely deserves to be on this list. I'd put it at like top 20. 10's a little bit high for me, but I can see why they put it on. Here's the point where we start getting every big shonen that's aired in the past 10 years. Whoever this person is, I think they put it on there just because of the cultural impact that Demon Slayer has had. And if so, then yeah, I think it deserves to be top 10 if we're bringing in cultural impact. I think Demon Slayer has been a worldwide sensation. I think Demon Slayer has played a massive impact in spreading anime to a more mainstream audience, and it's been breaking records left, right, and center. I'll give this one an M. If it was like number 5 or something, it would be an L. Number 9, we have... It's the shonen time. Shonen time has come. Now it's time for the fucking hot takes, guys. Are you ready? Based on what's out right now, I think Demon Slayer should be higher than Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it should be higher. I am now waging war against every shonen fan, man. Jujutsu Kaisen is not yet top 10 anime of the previous decade. I think Demon Slayer has, you could argue that Demon Slayer has done so much for anime, and you know what? It's some of the best animation that has aired in the previous decade. Jujutsu Kaisen has not reached that stature yet. Maybe when we get to the fucking Shibuya arc, which I keep hearing about, but come on, guys. We ain't there yet with Jujutsu Kaisen. We are not there yet. Jujutsu Kaisen at number 9 is an L for me. It's an L. It should be way lower. Moving on to number 8. Number 8, we have Blue Period. Ooh, this is a little curveball. It is. That's a curveball. Still too high though. Blue Period is an incredible manga. The anime was not as good as the manga was. It's not a bad show. How many people here have actually watched Blue Period? Because I feel like if you want to get into Blue Period, I would actually recommend the manga over the anime. I thought the anime was just a very... I mean, it was alright. It was alright. I don't even know if I would put it on the top 20 of the year. No, not high 20s, maybe like high 10s, high teens. The anime felt rushed, and I don't even know if I'm being biased just because of how good the manga was. So I'm surprised Kotaku put Blue Period this high. I think Blue Period's their curveball. I just don't think this is it. I respect you for putting Blue Period on. I'm gonna give this one an M. Might be a low L, but gut feeling, I'll give it an M. Actually, no, I'll give it an L. Blue Period is definitely not top 10 material of the last decade. That's an L. That's an L. Moving on, number 7. Beastars. Ooh, it's too high. This is another curveball. It is. Beastars is not top 10 of the year. Before we go any further with Kotaku's list, Kotaku, already, I'm gonna give you a W. Far and beyond better than anything IGN have created when it comes to anime content. You are not even in the same category, right? And I can tell you this because I'm taking this list seriously. I'm trying not to clown on this list because I'm trying to compare it to what I would actually put on this list, which is huge respect. But this is too high. I mean, I liked Beastars. I didn't like it that much. It's like top 25. Okay, with this list, I feel there's a lot of recency bias. That's my one criticism so far. There's a lot of recency bias. And I feel that the higher places of this list are getting taken up by very recent anime. There has been a few glaringly big ones that I would put in the top 10 that are not on here. I'm gonna give this one an L. Moving on to number 6, we have... This hurts so much, guys. I don't know if it might be too high. I think it might be too early for Mushoku Tensei. And I'm saying this as my favorite anime of last year. I actually think it's a bit too early for it to be number 6 for the decade, man. Here's the thing. It's not that much higher than what I would put it as. Yeah, I'd put Mushoku Tensei top 10. It would be in the low 10s for me. I'm getting really nitpicky now. I know I'm getting really nitpicky. Number 6 is a little bit too high for season 1. It's fucking great. It's not even close to peaked yet. Mushoku Tensei still cooking. Let Mushoku Tensei cook. I'm being nitpicky. I'm happy that Mushoku Tensei is recognized by Kotaku. I'm still gonna give this one a W. It's a small W. It's not a fat W. It's a small W though. See, that's how you can tell I'm taking this list seriously. The fact that I'm judging it this much. Top 5. I'm actually excited to see what this top 5 is going to be. Number 5, we have... Oh! Fat W! Fat King W! Holy W! Absolutely deserved. No complaints. absolutely no complaints. Vinland Saga was also one of my favorite anime of the previous decade. I think it's one of the few, maybe the only anime that I think has adapted like a historical seinen manga well. It's an incredible story. More like Vinland Saga, am I right? All right. That was awful. That was awful. Don't. Fat W, Askeladd for life. I'm curious to see what the opinion on season 2 is going to be when that is over. Okay, what do we got left? What do we got left? Number 4, we have... No, too high. No, way too high. Way too high. It's top 15, not top 5. You're this close, Kotaku. You are this close to getting a perfect top 5. No, this is, I mean, I really liked Cyberpunk Edge Runners. It was my number 3 show of last year. But in terms of best of the decades, this is, I feel, massive recency bias. I feel like people are going to remember Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I don't think it is going to be one that is remembered as fondly as some of the other classic shows that are going to be airing. All I'm saying is Domestic Girlfriend number 1. Guys, who's with me? Who's cooking with me? Top 3. I'm actually cheering for Kotaku now. I never thought I'd do this. I'm actually cheering for Kotaku. All right. Number 3, we have... Oh, he's not throwing! They're not throwing! Yo! W! I won't hear it. I won't hear this. Attack on Titan deserves to be top 5. I will not hear anything against this. Attack on Titan has been one of the few anime that is so popular, so hype, and it meets the hype. Attack on Titan has continually improved and gotten better every season. It's gotten more interesting. It is so insane that season 4 is basically a different show from season 1, and it felt completely natural. I might even put it like top 2 for me. It strikes that perfect chord of something that has the legacy behind it and a show that has delivered on its hype and is actually genuinely good. So far, Attack on Titan has been the closest thing the anime community has gotten to our Breaking Bad. Everyone's going to be watching the final season very closely, and whether it's good or whether it's bad, it is going to be something that is going to be talked about for years to come. That's how much of a cultural influence Attack on Titan has had on the anime community itself. Okay, 2 more left, and since there are 2 more left, I already know there's going to be a few that's missing. At number 2, we have Kaguya-sama. Number 2. Oh, okay, that's... I'll allow it. Kaguya-sama is top 2 romances of the last decade. Is it number 2? Personally, for me, I think it's a little bit high. I would not put it at number 2. I would possibly put it at around number 6. Number 5 or number 6. There is one romance that could rival Kaguya-sama, but that is a romance drama. Shut up. It's not Domestic Girlfriend. It's not Domestic Girlfriend, guys. It's actually Rent-A-Girlfriend. Which means, boys and girls, there is only one left. And you can take your bets now what it is going to be. I have one show that I think is my number 1. You know what? I'm not going to reveal it because Kotaku's number 1 anime of the decade is... Let's go! Let's go, baby! Oh, the fattest W! Let's go! Mob Psycho 100 is the best show of the last decade. Absolute fat W. I agree with them. You know what? I don't care what else they did on this list. They are correct with this one. I can't think of any other show that got as good of an adaptation as Mob did. It really is an adaptation that got everything it needed. It has amazing characters, amazing character writing. It got the premium treatment from Studio Bones. Yeah, to me, I think Mob Psycho 100 is a modern classic, and I think it deserves that number 1 spot. And for that, Kotaku, you get a fat W. Now let's talk about the L's. Let's talk about what's been missing from this list. First of all,
Made in Abyss didn't even make the list. BRB, breaking my own arm.
I was going to say. Before I start listing off some other things, like I said, I am actually impressed with this list. Not just as a list for gaming journalist company, it is generally a pretty balanced list. One thing that stood out to me is a lot of things got represented, a lot of genres. It wasn't just a shonen list like usual. We had some sleeper picks in there. I'm very surprised stuff like Odd Taxi got picked. Let me say what I think is missing. Obviously, Made in Abyss. I'm very, very surprised. How did JoJo's Bizarre Adventure not make the list? I'm sorry. That was very, very surprising. Ping Pong the animation, I legitimately think is one of the best sports anime to be ever be made. I think Ping Pong the animation definitely deserves to be up there. Origairu is another show I was very, very surprised to not be on there. I feel like Origairu could genuinely be top 10. Same with Fruits Basket. Some of these shonen shows I think undeservedly got to be in the top 10 because one, they're shonen, and two, they're popular. I'm surprised more Kyoto animation shows didn't make it. Definitely Dragon Maid was one of the biggest slice of life to be released in the past decade. That was Kotaku's list of the best 30 anime of the previous decade, and I have to say, pretty impressed. What did you guys think of it? Did you enjoy the list? Did you disagree? Did you agree? Did you think it was a W like I did? Make your comment known. And hey, if you didn't know, I'm streaming on Twitch right now. I'm streaming a lot in the month of March, so you can catch me on twitch.tv/Giguk. But if you're watching this on YouTube, then don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And that's been it for me for today. I've been Giguk, and I'll see you all next time.